Hey all, welcome in. My name is Jana, and today we're going to talk about a crystal that I believe to be essential for all the collectors out there, and that's a crystal called selenite. Now, I wanted to do selenite early on because I think this is one of the first crystals that you should collect if you're starting to collect crystals or rocks, or you're a lover of gemstones. This is a really great positive energy gemstone to add to whether you carry it around in your pocket or your house or your car. So let's talk about selenite. Selenite is a gemstone or crystal that comes from the family of gypsum, and it was actually named after the Greek goddess of the moon, which is absolutely perfect because when you see selenite, look at that moon-like sheen on it, kind of like that full moon night, and you almost see a rainbow of colors in there. Now, her name was Selene, hence selenite, and it comes from all over the world, and it forms in these absolutely enormous beds, typically with sedimentary rocks, often found near limestone and clay deposits, often found near hot springs as well. But you're looking at regions from France, Greece, England, Australia, the United States, Mexico, Madagascar, Argentina, Japan, India, and so many more places. So this is a really abundant gem or mineral, if you will, and it's not one that you see very often in jewelry. Now, why? Well, selenite's very delicate. It's actually only a 2. It does form in those large beds, and if you look, there's all these kind of fibrous, it forms in these super long crystals, and the fibers run completely up and down the entire thing. So this is kind of more of like a rough piece of selenite, how you would see it more in its raw, normal form. And the reason, again, you don't see it often in jewelry is because it is only about a Mohs hardness scale of 2. But it can dissolve also back into water. It can go back to its form of gypsum. So it's not something very often that will be used in jewelry, but because of that property, it actually has healing properties like water. It has a very similar kind of even flow about it, if you will, which is a really cool property of this particular crystal. Now, again, it develops in those fibrous columns, and it dates back to ancient times. Ancient Egyptians actually used selenite to decorate their homes. And again, when you look at it, it's really easy to see why. Ancient Greek culture actually used and appreciated the beauty of selenite to make windows. You will often see them as windows. And speaking of that, the Santa Sabina Church in Rome has these large, beautiful arched windows that were built in the 5th century. And instead of using glass, they actually use sheets of selenite to form those windows. It's incredible to see. And again, selenite has this almost magical sheen about it. So whenever you see a piece of selenite, it does have that gorgeous light reflecting, almost like that look of purity and just absolute peace and tranquility. Now, large amounts of gypsum were also found near Paris in ancient times. So way back when, in ancient times, they made a material known as the plaster of Paris, and this was used for all kinds of different things: windows, making buildings, sculptures, making castings. And selenite has a property that allows it to be fire resistant, and that's why they made so many buildings using plaster of Paris or a form of selenite. Now, it's also said to have been used as a soil additive back then, which allowed their crops to be very abundant. So again, it has a lot of fun little history and legend and lore behind it, but we're going to talk more about the metaphysical and the spiritual properties of this particular gem or crystal and why you should have this in your crystal arsenal. It has the most incredible luster, and it is typically found in that white color that you're seeing that I have, but there are a few other shades. There's been some grays and browns and whatnot discovered, but typically if you're going to see selenite, you're going to see it like this, and you see it in an array of different ways. You even see it a lot of times in that natural and rough form, and that's completely normal to see it with those fibrous strands. Now, what it lacks in its toughness as being able to be put into a gemstone or a jewelry or anything like that, it more than makes up for in its spiritual and metaphysical properties. You're going to be blown away by this particular gem's abilities. Now, one of the most important tools or crystals in metaphysical healing and wellness is going to be selenite. So if you are brand new to crystal collecting, here's where you want to be. Here's where you want to start, okay? Now, it's a high energy crystal that is not a traditional birthstone, but it does relate back to the zodiac sign of Cancer. So if you're Cancer, this is a great one for you, and you'll kind of figure out why pretty quickly. It promotes a lot of purity and honesty. It's also called something called Satan's spar because of that like milky sheen about it, but it is known to open up, clear out and activate your energy. It helps you to liberate and become your best self. It also helps to connect you to your higher self. So this is a crystal that forces you to be honest with yourself. It helps to clear any of the energy blockings. Remember how we said it dissolves in water and it has that water fluid-like flow about it as a crystal? Well, say if you're holding energy in some part of your body, this helps to clear and allow it to flow evenly. It's also related to aligning your chakras. Now, in particular, the third eye chakra, so opening up that mental clarity, but it raises awareness to your higher self. So if you need to get in touch with your higher self, who you are, connecting back to you for your self-confidence, this is an incredible gemstone to do so. It also helps to connect you with your spirit guides and your guardian angels. This is a great one if you need that protection of your guardian angel, that you want to have selenite, whether it's in your home or in your car or maybe just in your pocket. It's easily programmed as a transmitter. So if you have trouble seeing signs, and I think we're always guilty of this, right? Of like, oh, that was right in my face, I should have seen it. If you have trouble seeing those signs from your spirit guides or your angels, this is a great one to have in your crystal arsenal. It's an absolute must. Now, it's great for protection as well. So whether that's protection of yourself, like if you want to carry a piece around, if you feel you need protection, it wards off negative and toxic energies and it keeps people from stealing your light. So it helps to protect you. It also helps to protect in your home. A lot of people put selenite crystals, and that's what these little rough forms are really great for, all around their house. You can put them in windows. You could put a crystal in your car for that extra added protection and just positive vibes, because what it does is it allows the angelic realm to come in and take out the negative, which is awesome. Now, again, this is one that invokes that protection. You can use selenite in meditation. If you are big on meditating, selenite gives you a couple of things. It's going to bring clarity and calmness and inner peace, but it also aids in connecting you to your past and future lives, which is amazing if you're trying to heal some of those traumas. Now, if you are into yoga, you can put a piece of selenite on your yoga mat to help not only with mental balance, but with physical balance. I find when I'm doing yoga, I need the mental balance more than I often need the physical balance. Here's my number one use for it, and this is where I think selenite is a must. So we talk about having all these crystals, and if you're a crystal collector, you probably have an abundant amount of crystals. But what we never really talk about is those crystals absorb energies, and that's what we want them to do. So we want them to take in the bad energies and take the yuckiness away from us. But you have to clear those crystals so they get back their purity and their good energies. And in order to do that, the number one way you can do that and make it so easy on yourself is to put it on a piece of selenite. This is really great, whatever's going on up here. Selenite clears and cleans other crystals. So if you have a piece of quartz that you carry with you or a piece of jewelry you wear often and you want to take all the negative away from it that it's absorbed just from being there and adding positive to your life, get a piece of selenite and you can simply put that crystal on it overnight to help cleanse that crystal and bring back all its positive vibes. It's such an easy way to cleanse your other gems, which is why I wanted to do selenite today. Now, selenite also promotes calming, soothness, balance, and brings peace and tranquility, something great for all of us. And to wrap up, I just want to give you a little recap. Now remember guys though, the thing is if you are in need of medical advice, this is not medical advice. This is some of the spiritual properties, the legend and lore behind selenite. You need to seek a doctor's opinion if you are looking for medical advice. But as far as what goes in the metaphysical and spiritual world, as far as selenite goes, emotionally it helps with calming, forgiving, harmony, finding deep peace, honesty, positive thoughts and energy, reducing stress, increasing self-confidence and self-worth, purity of the heart, and clarity of your thoughts. I mean, that's really a powerful crystal. As far as spirituality goes, it helps with connecting to your higher self, cleansing and clearing your space as well as yourself, protecting, angel connection, meditation, enhancing your dreams, increasing your intuition, warding off any negativity and connection to your past lives. As far as physical pain goes, and again, you should always seek a doctor's opinion, but it is said to aid with back pain, bone disorders, bone strengthening, cancer, epilepsy, insomnia, PMS, muscular and skeletal issues, spinal health and strengthening, as well as ulcers. So I just wanted to give you a little rundown again on selenite, and this is one that I think if you're brand new to the crystal world that you absolutely must have in your crystal arsenal. Now, as far as next week goes, I've been taking a lot of requests from you guys, and it's going to be labradorite. So I hope you'll join me next week for the video on labradorite. And please give me the thumbs up on this video, and I would love for you to subscribe to my channel to learn more. And each and every week I will be bringing you a fantastic new crystal to learn a little bit more about. Thank you and have a fabulous week.